Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of The Walk. My name's Gareth and today I'm in the Derbyshire village of Wirksworth. I'm here to explore the remains of something called Cromford Moor Mine or Venture Mine, some of the remains of which date all the way back to the 1600s. Now I'm going to have a little look around, see what I can find in terms of remains of that, and then I'm going to stomp up and have a clamber on top of the very imposing and majestic black rocks. I'm going to have a look at some of the folklore and mystery that surrounds them. Right now I'm on something called the Cromford and High Peak Railway. I've done a few walks on that before, which I will put in the description below. Now this, you can see the wall continues that way. These were sidings here, ladies and gentlemen, and there, now it's houses, but it was in fact something called the Black Rock Tile and Brickworks, or Brick and Tile Works. The reason that's relevant to the mine, in my opinion, is a lot of the mine workings are around here, which suggests to me that when the railway came along in 1831, making it one of the earliest railways ever built, there was a crossover period, because although this Cromford Moor Mine or Venture Mine, it had two names, although it dates all the way back to the 1600s, it was actually an active lead mine all the way up into the mid 1920s, so there was a crossover period. So I'm thinking they probably almost certainly utilised the railway. Now in those trees, and in fact in the trees up there, having looked on old maps, I think there's some old shafts or some old remains, so I will have a clamber up there in a minute. But the first bit I'm going to look at is right here, on the Cromford and High Peak Railway, which is now the Cromford and High Peak Trail. So it's you know, people walk around this mine all the time, probably not even realising what they're walking around. Now that's old as well, isn't it? That's seriously old. Where's that going? Is that just a drain? Yeah, that's just a drain. There's very little excitement in a drain. This, however, is a little bit more exciting. So this is Cromford Moor Mine, a lead mine, which, like I say, dates all the way back to the 1600s. Now, some of it, obviously this brickwork here, is later. There were additions made here in the 1800s all the way up into the late 1800s actually, but it's a pretty big site, and actually through there you got like a cafe and toilets and stuff like that, so people kind of walk around here and sit here all the time without really realizing just how significant this mine was. Now I'm armed with a torch because we have got a shaft capped off, of course, because there's people walking about, but it's right here. So let's have a look, folks, and see how deep this goes. I don't know if you can make that out. All right, oh mate, there's two grates there. Morning, all right. I don't know if you can see that, folks. Let me get closer. Oh, dog's coming at me now. That is seriously, seriously deep. I don't know if you can make that out at home. Hopefully you can. Now this particular structure is part of an engine house, and quite a large one. Now unfortunately, because it's so old, there's no photos of it, but there is a painting. I've managed to find a painting that someone's done in the mid 1800s of this. Is that a window, do you think? I don't know. But it would have been quite a structure, and I'm assuming that's the base of the chimney. So the chimney would go, yeah, you can see there's a little bit of ironwork at the top there. That would have gone way up. Hopefully this painting will sort of give you a bit of an idea of just how big and imposing it was. Now, I'm careful not to film because there's families about, of course, but let me come around the other side. Now, let's have a look here. So again, these are the outer walls of something. We've even got some wood as well in place, look. So I'm guessing, yeah, and it goes all the way down here as well. It's a big old structure, that. Now, this is quite interesting. Obviously, you've got ironwork, but look at those scrape marks. I wonder what that's all about. People at home will know what that's about, where I don't. Yeah, there's plenty about. Now let me clamber around here. Now all this area here of car park and stuff like that, this has all been re-landscaped, of course, by the council, but it was a mass of spoil heaps and stuff back in the day. So that looks like that. This is quite big structure, you can tell, because look how they've got an abutment on it. You wouldn't do that unless it was significant in size, would you? In theory. There's another one there, another one there, another one there. That's amazing. There you get a better view there of the chimney. You can just see where it tapers off, and that would have gone bosh up to heaven. Weather can't make its mind up today, so the sunglasses are off, on, off, on. And there you go, there's a furnace of some description, of course. I don't know if they were smelting, lead smelting here, because of course this area of Derbyshire is all about lead. It was the industry of the time, and of course it made a lot of people a lot of money. In particular, people like the Duke of Devonshire. They made an absolute fortune out of the lead mines. Now in that direction, the Cromford and High Peak Railway goes down to Cromford Canal, which was of course the point of the railway in the first place. I'm going to follow it up there. As I said, the Cromford and High Peak Railway was one of the first railways ever built, and it connected the Cromford Canal with the Peak Forest Canal, which is all the way up in Whaley Bridge. Done loads of walks on it. I love it. It's just awesome, and visually it's amazing because it goes over the peaks, which of course a canal couldn't, because goodness knows how many locks you'd need to get over the peaks. So that was the point of the railway, to connect the two canals, to basically connect the coal fields and stuff of Derbyshire and Nottinghamshire with the textile industry and all the rest of it, and the mills and stuff of the northwest. Now I'm thinking they probably utilised the railway for that lead mine, and so I'm going to have a little look, because you know earlier I said about spoil heaps. Well, that's what all of this is. And a squirrel. Is that a squirrel or a rat? Oh, it's a squirrel. Hey, Squizzer. I mean, I wouldn't care if it was a rat. I don't mind rats. The black rocks are through there, but we're going to come to them. But you can just see all that white. That's all spoil. Now, somewhere around here, there's summit. Now, I only know that from old maps, really old maps, going back into the 1830s, where it shows that there's this little kind of tree, a square of trees basically, and in the middle of it, it says that there's mine workings that are connected, of course, to this Cromford Moor Mine. Now, in terms of the age of this mine, like I say, it goes back to the 1600s. It's very difficult to put a definitive date when you're going that old, but they built something called the Cromford Sough. And if you've watched the video that me and Phil did, where we looked around the water supplies for Cromford Mills, we looked into something called the Bear Pit. You might remember that. If you haven't watched it, I'll put a link below. Now, the water that went into that Bear Pit came out of something called Cromford Sough. Now, what was happening in the mid 1600s is all these lead mines, because there's a load of them around here, they were all flooding. And so getting the water out was becoming a bit of a nightmare, hence why they built these engine houses and stuff to pump the water, but it wasn't doing the trick. Not good enough anyway. So between 1673 and 1680, they built this Cromford Sough, which drained all these mines, including this one. So that's how we know it goes all the way back to the 1600s. There's a lot of stingers about here. Yeah. And I've done the whole short thing. I'm out of the stinging bushes now. And there's that painting I was telling you about. The Cromford Moors Mines. And there's the black rocks. Had trees on it by the look of it in the old days. But the reason I'm out of those stingers is because I've spotted this out the corner of my eye. We've got a gate, which is of course a lot easier than getting over a barbed wire fence. Maybe not one-handed, but I wanted to bring you with me. Okay, now this field is all stingers, but I've got the hay fever kicking in, so I need antihistamines for that. I need antihistamines for the stingers. I've got a couple of bites on my arm. It's a good day, folks, but it's history, innit? Do you know what I mean? Can't drop it. So I've come across the field. I was going to say like it's a perfect field for like grass snakes and adders and stuff, but to be fair, I reckon you could get the Loch Ness Monster in there and no one would notice. This, which was halfway between me saying this and these, oh, jumped into a sinkhole, on the maps is where those shafts and mine workings should be. Of course, these maps are from the 1830s, so, but as I say all the time, I trust those maps better than I trust current maps, to be honest, because they are on the money, and they've not let me down again. Once again, they've come up trumps. We've got ourselves a capped off mine shaft. There you go, look. but there should be more workings. So there's one, but as you see from the old maps, there's a few little bits and bobs. It's not just one, you know, sign that says shaft. And it looks like a working area. And this particularly looks like a working area. Oh yeah, mate. I'm so stung to bits, by the way. I've worn shorts. I don't learn. I saw the sun come out this morning. It's gone away now, but I saw it come out this morning. I thought, right, that's short weather. It is if you're a fool, Gareth. Yeah, that's a working area, look. Now, there's your shaft for a start. So let's have a look. Can you see down it? Nah, but that's properly capped off. But these houses here, that's the brick and tile works. So down there was that siding off the Cromford and High Peak Railway. So if you're bringing stuff out of here and you're bringing stuff out of there, there's no way you're not utilising it, surely. But what a little bonus that is. Because I love finding stuff that's sort of off the beaten track. Like, the mine remains are awesome, and the fact that they're right there is almost cool in its own way, because people walk past it all the time, like it's next to the cafe and whatever, just stomp past it, don't think anything of it. But it comes from the 1600s, oh God, mate, flies flying at me. And then you've got this stuff, just, you know, hidden away, capped off, with no one around. Apart from us, we got to see it. You can just make out the black rocks there and those spoil heaps and stuff. I love lead mines, you'll be shocked to know. But why I love them is I love Derbyshire, like I always have done, ever since I was a kid. Supported Derby County Football Club, used to come up a lot as a kid when I grew up on the Isle of Wight. And so I've always had an affinity with Derbyshire and Derby in general. But the lead mines are amazing because they were literally what Derbyshire was about. You know, a bit of farming, but basically lead mines and quarrying and stuff. To such a point where when Daniel Defoe wrote about the area, he called these people, the Peakitarian people, the people of the Peak District, he called them a boorish people. Strong, but boorish people that dwell underground. And so I'm assuming, do you know what I mean, it wasn't like Lord of the Rings, and he's probably referring to, you know, the lead miners and the copper miners and stuff of Derbyshire. But of course all that industry's gone now. And in fact the only industry really left is the quarrying, which you'll see from the drone footage. There's still a lot of quarries around here still being worked. That will have been worked for hundreds and hundreds of years, you know. And of course with the lead mining, that goes back to Roman times. Like the Romans were mining lead here in Derbyshire. It's incredible, really. I love that because it's such a little, you know, such a little nugget of history that I blew the bug off before it bit me. Such a nugget. Don't come back. Amazing piece of history that's completely gone. Like there's not even a tiny lead industry. It's all gone. Right, I've jumped over the gate and I'm going to stomp up these spoil heaps now up towards the black rocks. So in advance, I'll warn you, there will be panting because it's quite a steep hill. There's people abseiling and rock climbing and stuff on it at the minute. Now I've been here a load of times. One of the things I love about it, like the views are amazing of course, but I love the old graffiti. And as I remember, there's quite a lot of it on there, going way back. Now, when I was training to be a personal trainer, I had to do all my like physiology, anatomy, all the science gubbins. And I got bored, to be honest, of studying for hours. So I used to come up here and sit on the black rocks and study, which sounds beautiful, but actually it was counterproductive. And you'll get what I mean when you see the views, because I wasn't really concentrating, I'm just looking. But before I go up them, I'm going to have a little walk up into the woods, because I think there might be some more industrial stuff up there. Now, I honestly don't know what this is, although it looks like well, it is a quarry, isn't it? But these are structures. So whether these are houses that would house workers or whatever, or, you know, that could be the base of a kiln. Let's keep walking and having a look, because there's plenty of stuff around here. Like I say, this was a real significant place industrially. Look, there we go, we've got structures here, look. Got loads of stingers as well, although to be fair, my legs, I'm at a point now where my legs have had it so much I might as well just embrace it. But that's there for a reason. What else we've got? Ow! We've got another structure there. I mean, the rock's readily available, isn't it? But these are so old. And there we go, we've got a millstone. Oh, mate. Oh, this is so old, folks. And there's like a cut. You can see it out of the rock there as well, that's been made. Amazing. Right, let's have a little look around here and see. Is this an old adit? Well, someone's built that, haven't they, out of wood? What's in there then? Oh, nothing, it's just a teepee. It's quite cool though, to be fair, whoever's done that. That's a shaft, 100%. Look at that. I mean, it's not very well capped off, to be fair. Another structure around here, let's have a look, see. There's loads going off here. I mean, this is well and truly going to be an old map job because this is really old. And there you go, look, another structure. What it was, I don't know. Maybe if I come up on the top, it might give me a bit of a clue. There's some ironwork there. So what was on top of here? Maybe a millstone on that? Who knows? That's half the fun though for me. Do you know what I mean? The not knowing. Because of course you can look on old maps and you can see what it was. Obviously it was a quarry or whatever. But it ain't going to give you much more detail than that. So then it's just guesswork. Okay, right, I'll see. There's another little quarry next to this one. I'll see if there's anything there. And then we'll get up those black rocks. Yeah, see, there's more. I mean, that could just be a retaining wall, to be fair. But, I mean, that's in even better condition, that one, isn't it? That's incredible. Goodness knows how old that is, folks. Now, it's not the way I would normally come up. But there's a load of cavers and abseilers, but they're all like kids, basically. So I'm going to come round here so as to not disturb them, but the end location will be the same. So I'm going to have a look. I mean, the views are incredible, but I'm going to have a look as well for old graffiti. Not a huge fan of, sorry I'm blinding you, not a huge fan of modern graffiti, you know, where you get people just tag their names and stuff, but old stuff where it's engraved is cool. So here we go. Now, doesn't look overly old, nat and ash, but there's so much of it. They look happy, don't they? Now look at this. Incredible, look at the views, folks. Now these two parts of the black rocks are quite significant in terms of folklore, and I do love me a bit of folklore. So it's said that there were two lovers, it's always two lovers, isn't it, on horseback, and they were trying to escape two rather nefarious characters that were chasing them. I don't know why they were chasing them, but that's what the legend says. And so the lovers leapt. So it's another lover's leap. I mean, there's one down in Matlock as well. They leapt on their horses. I mean, I don't know what kind of horses jump in that, but who am I to question the folklore? And that then set them free from the nefarious characters. And so they then jumped off there and got away, whereas the nefarious characters were stuck over there. I mean, I don't want to give them ideas, but if I was chasing people, I'd just go around there, do you know what I mean? But I like folklore. Now look at those views. You got the quarry there, it's got a bit of a blue lagoon in it as well. Another quarry. And then you got Cromford at the bottom there, Matlock Bath, then Matlock beyond that. I mean, look at that for a drop. Now down there, oh geez Louise, you've got the Cromford and High Peak Railway. It's amazing. Now I'm going to go and have another look for a bit of the older graffiti. In terms of folklore again, it's said that there's an area, well it's not said, there is an area behind here of trees. Now suddenly in the area of trees there's a big opening that they say looks like a hoof print, and it's ancient. So as the tale goes, Satan, the devil himself, stood upon these rocks gazing out. Not sure what he was scheming, but he was scheming something. He's always up to something, isn't he? And so to get to these rocks he leapt, and as his hoof did a hoof print in the middle of those woods, it killed all the trees and left that area of almost scorched earth, I guess. And that's what the tale goes. But here we go, what's this, 1950, 1983, even though that's not as old as I thought. I'm pretty sure there is some dating back to the 1800s though. In fact, I know there is, I've seen it. Oh, mate, oh well. If I can't find it, I can't find it. I'll just come up and get another look at the views. Hopefully the wind's not too annoying, folks. Amazing though. And then up there you've got, yeah, Middleton Top and all that gubbins. Amazing. I won't go too close to the edge because it is a bit crazy, but whoop, whoop, whoop. I'll take you over there. Jeez. Jeez Louise. Unreal. Now these folklore tales basically came to prominence in the 1800s, and they came to prominence, just like the wind just has, via guidebooks. Because much like it is now, Derbyshire was you know, trying, as the industry was dying out, particularly the lead mining industry, was relying on tourism, and people come up here, posh Victorians and whatever. So they would release these guidebooks that would have these tales of mystery and the devil and all this kind of stuff to try and build intrigue, I guess. You don't really need to though, because it's intriguing enough, Derbyshire. It's amazing. Here we go, folks. These look older, don't they? I mean, there's not a year on it. I don't think there's a year on it. That's annoying. But there's definitely, I'm not leaving till I find it. It's become a thing now. This is serious. What's that, 1910? There we go, we've got a 1910. I think we can go older than 1910, but 1910's a start. Let's keep searching. 2007, less interesting. Right, I'm not giving up, folks. What's that, 1895? Mate, 1867, look. 1867. Get in. E.R. Jones, 1867. Nice one, mate. You saved the video. Appreciate that. Oh, thank you so much for watching. I'm apologising for the sniffing. My hay fever's kicked in massively today, but amazing remains of the mine. And I couldn't do that and then not come up here and look at these incredible views and stuff off the Black Rocks. Hope you enjoyed it. I need a hay fever tablet. See you next time.